right. Hello, everybody. I am Mercury Addison, and let's make some jewelry. I am a novice jewelry maker. I'm also a writer and artist. I haven't made a jewelry video in a couple of weeks. I just haven't been into it yet. I'm not into it. I just haven't been. I've been very distracted lately with other things. But I really ought to get back into it. So I'm going to try. I'm going to do a quick little cleanup of this jewelry board. Not the whole thing, because I'm just kind of a messy bitch, but like, I need to clean up some of this stuff because I'm very bad about cleaning up after myself, and then it makes it hard for me to do my jewelry when it comes time for me to do my jewelry. So I just need to clean up a little bit of this stuff, and then we can get started. I'll just put this in here actually. Okay. I don't really have a plan for today. I was going to try to make a pan flag bracelet because I'm pan romantic, but the beads that I ordered for it haven't come in quite yet. So I'm going to be doing something else instead. I'm thinking what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to start by making a bar necklace, which is a pretty simple and easy thing to make and very pretty. Bar necklaces are very pretty. I mean, I say it's simple and easy, but it does include techniques that I still haven't quite mastered, that I'm still trying to get the hang of. So it's not necessarily that it's easy as much as it's just not a complicated thing to make. It's just I need to get better about making it. So, first thing I'm going to do is adjust my camera so that people can actually see what's going on now that I've got the intro out of the way. Alright, so first thing I'm going to do is smooth out a nice big thick piece of wire. So I'm using these nylon pliers that I got. It's so much easier than what I had to do before. Before I got a hold of this tool, I just had to try to straighten wire out as best as I could with limited tools. So right now I'm just straightening this out, trying to get it all nice and smooth, and have not as many, like kinks and wrinkles and stuff. It's important not to overwork it, but at the same time, it's also important to make sure that it gets worked at all. So I have that. Now I'm going to hammer it. Now, ordinarily, I would have a little jewelry anvil that I would put on my desk and do this with, but I don't have a jewelry anvil. That's probably the next tool that I'm going to buy when I have a spare 15 bucks. I'm going to get a little jewelry anvil that I can hammer on. But right now I have to make do with what I have. And what I have is a rusty old baking sheet. So I have this nylon hammer. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to, sorry, loud noises. I'm just going to hammer this out. I'm trying to be as quiet as possible. And what this is going to do is it's going to just make it kind of more stiff, and it's going to be able to hold its shape better. If I had an actual jeweler's anvil, it would be so much easier. But I don't, so I have to work with what I got. And it's still not as straight as I want it to be, so I'm going to come back in with these nylon pliers and really just try to straighten it out. I think I need to hold on tight to it, to the end of it with with these pliers. So that way I just get a nice firm hold of it and I don't have to rely on finger strength. My hands are shaky though. Look, I just ruined it. People who have been doing this sort of thing for a long time, they make it look so easy on YouTube. They just come in and they just straighten it up and they just get it all nice and pretty perfectly with like 3 or 4 strokes, and it's just like so pretty. I can't do that yet. I'm still trying to just figure out the very basics of getting it all taken care of. I think that's not good enough. Somehow I think I even kind of made it worse. It is getting stiffer, so it's doing its job. I just don't necessarily have the tools to do it exactly properly. And you know, they say it's a poor workman who blames his tools, but I think that's a classist saying. I think people who do not have the tools have every right to say, I could do this easier if I were privileged enough to have tools. I think, in my opinion, a lot of the old sayings about things are generally usually classist. Or, you know, racist or ableist or anything like that. Teach a man to fish, feed him for a day. Give a man a fish, feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish, feed him for life. That's a classist saying. Maybe the man already knows how to fish. Maybe the fishing's not good. Maybe there aren't any fish in the water. Maybe he doesn't have good net. Maybe he doesn't have the right tools. Maybe he's too hungry to fish. Maybe he can't fish right now because he's just starving. Give a man a fish, feed him for a day. That's what I say. Just do it. Just let them eat. Let them live for a day. I'm getting too passionate about this. Okay. So I've got this little strip of wire here. It doesn't look straight, but it looks about as good as it needs to be. Now I'm going to get my beads. In order to do a real nice bar necklace, what you got to do is you have to have beads of the same color in at least 3 different sizes. So I have a big one here, 2 medium ones, and 2 little ones. These are all made of the same gemstone. The smaller ones are definitely lighter colored than the bigger ones, but that's just because it's smaller. They're all made of the same stone. Alright, so I'm going to, first things first, here's where I left it. I'm going to try to kind of shape this out. You know what, I want to find where the measurements are exactly. It's about 8 inches. And then how much is this? It's almost 2 inches. Cool, so I just need to have about 2 inches in the middle here. Why did I say 8 inches? This is not about 8 inches, it's about 6 inches. And I'm seeing when I'm holding it up to the ruler how unstraight it is. Whatever. So right at about the 2-inch mark, I'm going to pick it up here. I'm just going to give it a 90-degree angle. Now I'm going to shape it. So I've got its 90-degree angle. I can't see very well. Cool, there we go. 90-degree angle. Now I'm going to take it and I'm going to put the loop on it. I'm going to twist it up and around. Like so. And then I'm just going to twist this down. One. I need to switch tools now. I'm going to clamp it down here so that I can pull this nice and tight. It's not tight. It is so hard to get this wire to do what I want it to do. Let's do 3 wraparounds. That will have to do. It doesn't do. That will do. Now I'm going to take my wire cutters and I need to hold them backwards. I'll just snip the very end of it off. Now I'm going to take my thing and my pliers and mash it down. Mash the end of it down so that it won't be poking up and catching people and catching on sweater links and stuff like that. I mean threads. Didn't quite do what I wanted to do, so I need to cut it a little more actually. Just a tiny little piece off of that thing. That's better. And then just smush it down. And I'm going to try to reshape it because it got a little bit misshapen while I was trying to get that fixed up. Now I'm just going to smooth this part out here. Again. need it to be straight. And it doesn't want to be straight. I don't want to be straight either, so I get it. But it needs to be straight, and it needs to be as firm as I can get it to be. Because that's the important part about a bar necklace. Because it's got to stay in a bar. Alright, but that's about good. So now we have a little hook. I wish the camera would just focus on it and stay focused. There we go. Nice little hook. Alright, so now I'm going to take the small yellow bead, medium yellow bead, large yellow bead, medium yellow bead, and small yellow bead. Now, as you can see, it's starting to have this like shape here. So now I'm going to take the pliers and give it a 90-degree angle. Oh, I need to make sure it's in the same position. Oh shit. I can't believe I did that. How stupid am I? I gotta gather the missing beads. Someone fell down here. I don't quite know where it ended up. You'd think it would be pretty easy to find a small yellow bead, but you would be surprised. I will locate the dropped beads later. For now, I will just get new ones. It's just a small one I'm missing. So now I'll bead those up again. Medium, large, medium, small. Okay. Now I will come through and give it a 90-degree angle. Okay. So now I come and I make the loop. Just like last time. And then I'm going to start coming around with the wiring. I might have left a little bit too much space between the beads and the wire, but that's okay. All part of the learning process. I wish I had a second set of pliers here. It would make it so much easier to do this. And now I'm just cutting off the edge again. A tiny little bit of excess. I look away from it because the little tiny piece is gonna go flying out and I don't want it to hit me in the eye or anything. And then I just kind of squash this down. It may be easier to do with this. Yeah, the second round definitely did not go as good as the first one, which makes sense because it's easier to make it all go, I mean, it's harder to make it go good when you're doing it on the side that has beads. I'm still not quite good at doing that. And as you can see, I've completely mangled the bar. So now I'm going to try to straighten all this out. This is another example of where if I had a jewelry anvil, it would be so much easier to get all of this perfectly straight and exactly the way I want it to be. As it is, I'm kind of just having to freehand it and just kind of trying to shape it back into the correct shape as good as I can. Alright, but there we have it. A nice bar. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to get into my jump rings, wherever those might be. Where are my jump rings? Ah, here they are. And I'm going to try to find some nice coppery ones. Most of what I have is silver and gold, but I'm pretty sure I have at least like a couple little copper ones in here. They're not exactly the right color, but they're close enough. I'm losing jump rings. I guess you could say they were jumping ship. These are jokes my dad would be proud of. After I'm done with the video, I'm gonna have to be crawling around on the floor making sure I pick up all the stuff I dropped. But that's part of the course with me. I'm always dropping shit. So now, the other thing is I'm going to get this chain. So I'm not really sure about how long I want the necklace to be. Our necklaces usually sit kind of down below your neck a bit. So I'm just kind of measuring it out based on my own neck. Maybe about this long. Now I'm going to cut this one in half. I'm hearing noises upstairs that are making me kind of nervous. Because I'm alone in the house right now, so I shouldn't be hearing any noises upstairs. So I did cut maybe about 23 inches or so. So probably what I'm going to do, 24 inches, 23 and a half probably. So I'm going to cut it right about here. It's kind of right in the middle. It's not important to make sure it's exactly the right length, but you know what? A better way to do this would be to hold the two ends of these perfectly together. Yeah, so about like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut right down here, right at the very bottom. And cut it like that. Actually, I should have got 4 of these little things here. 4 jump rings. So I'm going to go back in. This one's right near the top. I definitely need to get more copper jump rings. I have all these silver ones, all these gold ones. Oh, there's one. There we go. And here I go making a mess again. Here I go again on my own. Why did I do that in that key? That was not the right key for that song. You guys must be so entertained right now, watching me pick up little tiny pieces of jump rings and drop them back in the bag. There we go. So now I'm going to take a jump ring and open it up. Take one end of the chain. And try to hook it onto the jump ring. This chain is so small and so delicate that it doesn't. The jump ring is just slightly bigger than it probably should be for a chain of this size. So it's just a matter of trying to get the link through the jump ring. it doesn't want to go in. There we go. And then one end of the bar and close it. Whoa. My hand slipped. I am lucky that didn't break this jump ring because I have so few of them in this color that if I broke it, I would just be shit out of luck. It's also important that I close it nice and tight though, because the chain is so small that if I even leave the tiniest gap, it could very easily just slip right out and break. Alright, so now we take another jump ring, open it up. Get the next chain hooked on here. Oh, that one slid on nice and easy. Get the bar in place. And close it. My hands are so shaky. It makes it very difficult to get this done right. Perfect. Now to finish it up, what I'm going to do is I need to get into my clasps. I think I only have one copper toned clasp. Oh, you know what? It's not even copper, it's brass. That does not match at all. I don't have enough resources to do everything I want to do. Hobbies are a rich person's game. I cannot justify buying more lobster clasps when I still have so many, but all of these ones are silver. I can't make anything in any metal other than silver. I have one brass clasp, no gold. So that means I can't finish this necklace. Not until I get some copper lobster clasps. What I can do is I can close up this one on the other end. What the clasp would have been clasping onto. I suppose I could do, I can just do a silver clasp. The lobster clasp is in the back of the neck. You almost never see it anyway. But that just feels so unprofessional. So yeah, I just need to, I'm just going to put this half on. I'm going to close up half of the necklace. If I can get the link to go onto the chain, onto the jump ring. The link does not want to slide onto this jump ring. It's like threading a needle. Okay, there we go. Now to close the jump ring. Alright, and there we have it. Once I have a copper lobster clasp and I can finish this necklace properly, it's just going to be a nice bar necklace that sits just right about there. It's nice and elegant, it's simple, it's a nice little statement piece that people can wear. All in all, just a very pretty design. And I think the yellow colors are spectacular. Very sunny, very bright. This is a summer necklace. I will set it on my messy jewelry board with all of the other unfinished projects I have, because until I have the materials to finish them, they're sitting there. Alright, let's see. What should I make next? I've only been doing this for, what, 40 minutes? I should make something else too while I'm here. Not sure what I want to make, though. Maybe what I'll do is I'll just work a little bit on this thing. It's an unfinished project I've got going on. It is a tassel bead pendant. And so what I'm doing is I'm using a whole lot of these unsorted seed beads I have in order to just make this thing. No, you know what? That's such a boring job. Because literally all it's doing is sitting here and finding little unsorted beads and carefully stringing them, and they're so tiny. The beads are so tiny that you can barely see what you're doing. So yeah, that's boring. I'm not going to subject you guys to watching that. I'll make a pendant. I'll make a pendant with this silver thing. Okay. Alright, so that's what I'll do. So I'll start by getting one of these. These are head pins. So they have a little pin on the end that means that you can have it be a bead stopper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold on to that with this, my round nose pliers, and then I'm going to use my new nylon pliers to straighten it out. As best I can. I know it's real boring to watch. And like I've said in previous videos, this will not only help to straighten the pendant, but it also work hardens it a little bit. So that means it'll be more firm and it'll be less likely to just get bent and twisted the more you use it. Which I'm really bad at trying to get these work hardened. I want things to be nice and straight and to stay that way and to not get bent and twisted as I work on them. And I just have such a hard time making sure that happens. Hopefully these nylon pliers will make that easier, especially since I don't have an anvil and I can't just hammer it loose. I mean tight, hammer it tight. That'll be alright. So then let's pick some beads for this thing. Let's try to do something elegant. Let's do some black maybe. I just got these new beads. These are blue sandstone beads. So I'm just going to put one on here to think it's so that you can see what it's like. And so, as you can see, it's just this nice black bead. If you can see, if it'll focus on the bead. It doesn't want to focus on the bead. It thinks that my sweater should be in focus. I don't know why. Focus on the bead. As you can see, it's a little bit blue. It's sparkly. It's a blue, sparkly black bead. And I wish the camera would show it to you in all of its pretty quality because it is a gorgeous bead. So I'll probably use one of those. I'll grab a couple more just in case I want to use them in a design later on. In the same design, I mean. Got one of those. Let's see what else I might want to use. I'll pull that. Pull some of these. Not these. Let's get a color maybe. So it's got that blue shading in it where you can barely see that it's blue. So I don't know if I want to play. I think I'll play into that. Let's check out my blue beads here. See if there's anything that would really go with this black sandstone. Maybe one of these would be pretty. Just this nice little bead here. If it would let it focus. It won't let it focus. So that's nice. Now let's maybe try a pearl. So get my pearls. Let's maybe do one of these darker, like gray pearls instead of a white. And let's maybe just try that again. See what it looks like if I pattern it like this. I think that looks kind of pretty. But at the same time, not quite what I'm going for. Maybe instead, I can do a pearl first. And then I'll do, oh, you know what I can do? I'll do one of these silver things. Silver spacer bead. And then a pearl. And then I'll get in here and I'll get some bead caps. Bead caps are nice and pretty and they just really finish up a bead super fast. I just want to make sure I get two matching ones. This is a good one, I think. That's a good size. So I need to get another one like that. So, pull this up here like this. Put the blue bead on top of it. Get another cap going here. Another gray bead. Silver spacer. And blue. So that's just this nice little symmetrical design here. If it would focus. There we go. That's a little focused. Yeah, that's pretty. Alright, so set it aside. Now I'm going to put this away and get this. So I twist it up around. To form the loop. But before I add the loop, I'm going to get this silver bail here and slide it on before I close this loop. Just click it into place. And now I hold this tight as I start wrapping the loop. I left way too much room. I need to redo this. This is not good. So I'm going to take that bail back off. I was not thinking. In my head, I was still working with a different thickness than I was. And I was not. So I actually need to unspool it. Straighten that back out. mostly start that part over. I probably could have done a much smaller bead thing, but I didn't, so here I am. Alright, so now I'm going to hold on to this with my nylon pliers as best as I can, so that I can just take this and use it to make the thing wrap around itself nice and tight. So that it will be secure. That is good. Alright, so now I'm going to cut off the excess with my flush cutters. So I'm just going to come right in here with these bad boys and snip the end off, if I can get in a good position for this. I think I have to untwist it a little bit in order to actually get it in a good position that I can cut it. Why am my flash cutters are so dull. It's so hard to actually get any cuts made. I think if you buy a brand new pair of flush cutters that they would come to you already sharp. There we go. And now I'm going to just tuck that back in. And I just realized that I'd forgotten to put the bail on it. Hey vey. Well, I can't undo it now. I twisted it up nice and good and secure and tight. So that means that this is going to be a pendant that has a jump ring attaching it to the bail. This is an unnecessary step if I had done it correctly the first time, but it's not that big of a deal. It's okay to have a jump ring, even if you didn't necessarily need one. So where was the end of it? There we go. I'm going to open this up. The pendant on one end and the bail on the other. I'm going to drop it. I'm going to do that again. Put the bail on it and the pendant on it together. And then I'm going to close it. Hopefully this time I actually will close it instead of just drop it. There we go. Pendant has become a little bit misshapen because I couldn't get the wire to be perfectly stiff. But there we go, that's better. So now I'm going to get some silver chain. I think I just want about 2 feet of this, so. Right about here. Now with this, we don't need to do what we did with the bar necklace, how we had one bit of chain on each end. We don't need to do that with a pendant like this. With this pendant, the only thing we need to do is, where are my jump rings? Oh, here they are. We just need to get 2 more jump rings. If my fingers will cooperate. And we need to get one of these silver lobster clasps. And then we'll open up one of the jump rings. These ones might be too thick. We'll have to see. Let's see if we can fit the chain links onto this thing, or if it is too thick. It might be too thick. It's so hard to see what I'm doing here. Even harder to actually do it. This is such an impossible thing. Yeah, I think these jump rings are too thick. Which means I have to hunt down the really small ones. Again, this is another just little problem. Is even if I have the right color, I don't always have the right size. This one's tiny. Here's another small one. That should hopefully make it easier. Okay. Oh, I should put away the other two. The 2 big ones that I had out. Alright, so now I'm going to do this again. I'm going to open up one of the small ones. If I can find the edge of it. There we go. Now I'm going to try to get this chain linked onto it. Alright, that was actually much easier. And then I'm going to get the lobster clasp on. The same jump link. Yeah. And then jump ring, I mean. I knew I said the wrong thing. And there we have it. And now on the other end of the chain, Get the next small jump ring. Open it up. Hook it on. I'm hearing weird noises. I don't like them. Got it hooked. And closing it up. Now we have a necklace chain. So now we just put it through the bail. And then I can just simply, it's just a necklace. I can just take the chain and hook it on. Like so. And then I've just got this nice little pendant. It's kind of hard to see with the sweater that I chose today, but so there we have it. Just made a couple of necklaces today. One of them is not quite finished, but it's such an easy finish. As soon as I get the right part, I'll be able to finish that up. And then we have this pendant also finished. This one is ready. And there we have it. I think it turned out real nice. So then, thanks for joining me today. Or not joining me because I'm not doing this ahead of time. But, I mean, I'm not doing this for anyone specifically to be seeing it live. So the way that I do my live streams is I try to do them jewelry making on Monday, art on Wednesday. And it's technically supposed to be for Ko-Fi subscribers only. That's how I came up with this idea. I wanted to start a Ko-Fi, and I thought, what are some good perks that might be good in a Ko-Fi? I know it's supposed to be coffee, but I just can't call it that. I'm like, you want coffee? This is coffee. I can't call it coffee. In my head, it's just Ko-Fi, like lo-fi music. But anyway, I was like, I want to start one of those. What would be some good perks that people might be able to get if they join? And that's one of the things that I did, was I decided it would be live streams that Ko-Fi subscribers could join in and chat. But I don't yet have any Ko-Fi subscribers. So if you're interested in joining me next time or on my art stream this Wednesday, feel free to join my Ko-Fi. It's a $5 a month thing for 2 live streams a week. And then also you get special access to early sneak peeks of original projects I'm working on. Right now I'm working on a webcomic. I've got the first 3 pages posted for... I need to move this down. First 3 pages posted on my Ko-Fi that anyone can go and read. And the rest of the pages, as I make them, I'm going to be posting them for Ko-Fi subscribers to see. I'm not going to publish the whole thing until the entire first chapter is complete, but Ko-Fi subscribers will be able to get a sneak peek at the pages as I finish drawing them. I'm also trying to work on a book, so hopefully I can give some sneak peeks of that as well. And then Ko-Fi subscribers also get a free desktop set. A wallpaper set for desktop and mobile. And that's designed by yours truly. So yeah, if you're interested in joining Ko-Fi and helping me to get the money that I need in order to do things like buy copper jump rings or copper lobster clasps so that I can actually start finishing this jewelry and trying to get it sold. Or I can buy a little tiny, they're so cute, this little like 1-pound jewelry anvil that you just set up, and then I can use my hammer the way it's supposed to be used on a tiny little anvil and living out my fantasy writer dreams of having an anvil. Who uses an anvil these days? But yeah, so if you're interested in supporting me and helping me do what I like to do, helping me pursue this hobby, check out my Ko-Fi. Even if you don't want to be a subscriber, just a one-time donation would be fun. Even if you don't want to donate, like, comment, and subscribe if you want. I'm also going to be starting a new video series up here pretty soon, doing a book club type thing, so join me for that too if you're interested. With all that said, bye!